The day I discovered my fiancé had given away my dream wedding venue to his ex-girlfriend should have been devastating, but instead of tears, I smiled, slipped off my engagement ring, and dropped it into his champagne glass. Some dreams just aren't worth the nightmares that come with them. The champagne fizzed around the 3-carat diamond as I turned and walked away, ignoring the hushed whispers that followed me. That was 2 hours ago. Now, I sat alone on my apartment balcony, staring at the glittering skyline, replaying the disaster that was supposed to be the happiest night of my life. Our engagement party. Everything had been perfect. The flowers, the music, the guest list packed with Manhattan's elite, just as Marcus's family expected. I had spent weeks ensuring every detail was flawless, partly because I was a perfectionist, and partly because the Blacks, with their old money standards, scrutinized everything. As a wedding planner, I couldn't afford to let my own engagement party be anything less than spectacular. Marcus looked effortlessly charming in his tailored suit, moving through the crowd with the confidence of a man who had never once worried about a bank balance. I had been making my rounds separately, chatting with the wedding photographer I hoped to book for our big day, when a snippet of conversation froze me in place. "Oh yes, the Bellamy estate is stunning in June," Marcus's mother gushed to a friend. "Vanessa has exquisite taste." Marcus was so generous to help her secure it. Apparently, there was another bride eyeing it for the same date. My fingers tightened around my champagne glass. The Bellamy estate, my dream venue. The place I had sworn I would get married ever since I first set foot on its grounds at 22, 3 years ago. On our second date, I had taken Marcus to a charity event there. Standing under the wisteria-covered pergola, I had whispered, "When I get married, it will be here." He had smiled and kissed my forehead, and now he had given it away to Vanessa. I moved through the party in a daze, searching for him, my chest tightening with disbelief. I found him by the bar, laughing with his college friends. "Can we talk?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. "Privately." His smile faded slightly, but he followed me to a quieter corner. "What's wrong, Soph? You look pale. Did you give the Bellamy estate to Vanessa for June 17th? I asked, my nails digging into my palm. His expression shifted. Confusion, then recognition, then mild annoyance. "Oh, that, yeah, but it's not a big deal. She was struggling to find a venue, and my dad's golf buddy owns the place. So I made a call. Not a big deal." My voice wavered. "Marcus, that was my dream venue. Our wedding venue. You knew that." He shrugged, checking his watch. "It's just a building. Sophie, we can get married anywhere. The plaza, the Rainbow Room, pick something else." Just a building. The numbness inside me cracked, giving way to slow-burning rage. "I told you how much it meant to me." He sighed, exasperated. "Look, Vanessa's in a tough spot. Her dad's sick, and she wants to make sure he can be at the wedding. It was the right thing to do." Vanessa, his ex. The one he dated for 3 years before me. The one his mother still occasionally mentioned with a wistful sigh. "The right thing," I repeated, my voice icy, "would have been to talk to me first." His jaw tightened. I didn't realize I needed permission to help a friend. A waiter passed by with a tray of champagne. Marcus grabbed 2 glasses, offering me one like a peace offering. I didn't take it. "That's what this is?" I asked, staring him down. "You're still playing the hero for Vanessa. Even if it means trampling over what I want, don't be dramatic." He muttered under his breath. "It's a venue, not a kidney." Then, lowering his voice, he added, "People are watching. Can we discuss this later?" Before I could reply, a familiar voice cut in. "Sophie, the caterer needs you to sign off on something." Maya, my assistant and best friend, stood beside me, eyes darting between us, sensing the tension, grateful for the excuse to escape. I nodded. "I'll be right there." The moment we were out of earshot, Maya pulled me into the kitchen. "What happened? You look like you're about to combust." I told her everything. "That entitled jerk," she hissed, "and for his ex. This wasn't innocent. There has to be more to it." I started pacing. Marcus knows how much the Bellamy estate means to me. Not just personally, but professionally. Then, suddenly, it clicked. The Hamptons Bridal Showcase. I whispered, the career-making event I had spent months preparing for. I had promised the organizers I could deliver Bellamy estate as the showcase venue. With that gone, my entire proposal would collapse. Maya's phone buzzed. She checked it and her face darkened. "Sophie, you need to see this." She handed me her phone. On screen was Vanessa's Instagram post, uploaded an hour ago, a glowing selfie at Bellamy Estate, captioned, "Said yes to the dress," and the venue, "Thank you to my knight in shining armor for making my dreams come true, Bellamy Bride June Bride." Marcus was tagged in the post. My stomach twisted, and then came the final blow. When I returned to the party, I overheard Marcus's father talking to a business associate. The family's actually investing in Vanessa's new interior design firm, he was saying. Smart move, connecting our businesses before the market shifts. Everything fell into place. This wasn't just about a venue, it was about business connections, family approval, and once again, Marcus putting everyone else's needs ahead of mine. Then, Marcus raised his champagne glass, tapping it lightly to get everyone's attention. "I just want to say, thank you all for being here to celebrate our engagement." I didn't hear the rest. I knew exactly what I had to do. I stepped up beside him. In one smooth motion, I pulled off my engagement ring and let it drop into his champagne glass with a quiet plink. His smile faltered. The room went silent. I turned and walked away, leaving Marcus, the whispers, and the shattered illusion of our perfect future behind me. Some dreams aren't worth the nightmares that come with them. The room fell silent as I whispered a simple instruction to find someone who dreams of the plaza instead. The next morning, I awoke with puffy eyes and a dozen missed calls from Marcus. Maya was asleep on my couch, having stayed over to ensure I didn't make any impulsive decisions like calling him back. The sunlight streamed mockingly through my blinds, casting a cheerful glow over the corner where my discarded engagement party dress lay crumpled. "Morning, warrior," Maya said as she sat up and stretched. "How are you feeling?" "Like I've been run over by a wedding cake delivery truck," I replied, starting up the coffee maker. The routine motions felt alien, as if I was merely playing the part of the regular, composed Sophie while the devastated version of myself observed from a distance. My phone lit up again. "Marcus, aren't you going to answer that?" Maya asked, eyeing the buzzing device. I silenced it and placed it face down on the counter. "What's the point? He doesn't think he's done anything wrong." The truth was, last night's argument wasn't our first issue. Reflecting on the past, there were numerous red flags I had chosen to ignore, like the time Marcus booked our anniversary dinner at a seafood restaurant despite my shellfish allergy, simply because it was trendy. Or when he enrolled us in couples tennis lessons on Sunday mornings, fully aware I volunteered at the animal shelter then. Each time, I adjusted, compromised, and reassured myself that relationships required flexibility. "You've got that client meeting at 11, Maya reminded me, browsing through my calendar on her tablet. "The Hendersons, for their daughter's wedding. Do you want me to reschedule?" "No," I said firmly. "I need to work." My career had always been my refuge. Over 6 years, I had built my wedding planning business from the ground up, specializing in crafting unique, personalized events. Clients sought me out because I invested my heart into making their special days flawless. The Hendersons were a lucrative opportunity, affluent, well-connected, and planning an elaborate wedding for their only daughter. When I arrived at their penthouse, Mrs. Henderson welcomed me warmly, though I sensed something was amiss. "Sophie dear, we've heard wonderful things about your work," she began, "but Eliza is set on the Bellamy estate. I understand you have connections there." My heart sank. The venue was no longer available for their date. I managed a smile and presented portfolios of several equally impressive locations. Mrs. Henderson's expression soured with disappointment. "Oh, but we heard the Blackwoods secured it for a June wedding. Surely you could help." News traveled fast among the elite. "I'm afraid not. Marcus and I are no longer together," I confessed, realizing the meeting was spiraling downward. They promised to consider my alternatives, but I sensed I had lost them. Back at the office, a huge bouquet of roses awaited on my desk, with a card from Marcus. "I'm sorry you're upset. Let's talk over dinner tonight." It was a typical attempt to gloss over his wrongdoings without acknowledging them. I tossed the flowers in the trash. "Bit dramatic, don't you think?" Emma, my older sister, commented as she entered with a paper bag of comfort food, grilled cheese and tomato soup from our favorite diner. "Maya called you." "Huh, of course she did. You turned down the Blackwoods. That's like snubbing royalty," Emma remarked as she settled into a chair. I shared everything with her. The lost venue, the potential business deal, everything. "What hurts the most," I admitted, "is that he knew what that place meant to me. Not just personally but professionally. Emma's eyes narrowed. What do you mean? I explained how the Bellamy estate was crucial for my proposal to the Hamptons Bridal Showcase, a gateway to the luxury destination wedding market. Now Vanessa has it. I finished. That's not just inconsiderate, it's sabotage, Emma concluded. And the worst part is, I'm not even sure it was intentional. Marcus lives in a world where people like me are just disposable. I pushed my half-eaten sandwich away, recalling a painful memory. His mother cornered me last Christmas, hinted that I wasn't good enough, and suggested I might be better off working for some wonderful event companies. Just then, my phone buzzed. An email from a wedding vendor cancelling our partnership due to scheduling conflicts. The real reason was clear. The Blackwoods were shutting me out. Emma grasped my hand. Then we fight back. That evening revealed just how extensive the freeze was. Clients cancelled, venues reported sudden booking issues. And my favorite florist could no longer supply my events. As I sat at my desk, wrestling with the collapse of my business, Maya burst in with her phone. You need to see this, she said, showing me an Instagram post of the Bellamy Estate's garden pavilion, decorated exactly like the concept in my digital notebook, a design I had once shared with Marcus. They stole your wedding concept too, Maya pointed out. A strange calm washed over me. She can have the venue and Marcus, but my ideas, my creativity, my business, they're mine, and I'm going to fight for them. For the first time since that heartbreaking moment when I dropped my ring into a champagne glass, I felt not just pain but determination. I spent the following week rebuilding, fortified by a newfound resolve to reclaim what was rightfully mine. I reached out to every contact in my network, explaining my predicament without naming names. While some doors remained firmly shut, others swung open, opened by those who respected my work more than they feared the uncertainties of nightfall in Blackwood. After allowing myself a brief hour of tears, I compelled myself to begin sketching new design concepts. If Vanessa was set on stealing my wedding vision, I was determined to create something even better. Maya worked tirelessly, identifying which vendors were still on board and securing replacements for those who had dropped out. Emma arranged an impromptu legal consultation with her lawyer friend, who confirmed that while Vanessa's actions were unethical, there was little I could do legally unless I had taken steps to formally copyright my ideas. You need to make an appearance, Maya insisted on a Friday morning, dropping a sleek silver envelope on my desk. It was an invitation to the annual gala hosted by Weddings Today magazine. Staying hidden makes you appear defeated. I'm not hiding, I countered. Although we both knew I had been taking client meetings via video call and sending Maya to handle in-person vendor appointments, strategizing, I corrected. Well, strategy time is over, Maya declared. Everyone will be there, including potential new clients who are indifferent to Blackwood politics. She added with a mischievous grin, I heard Vanessa is boasting about being featured in their summer issue at Bellamy Estate. That was the final nudge I needed. What time should I be ready? The gala took place at the Grand, a historic hotel famed for its splendid ballroom. I selected a midnight blue gown that radiated power rather than prettiness and arrived fashionably late, flanked by Maya and Emma, who acted as my unofficial bodyguards. As I made my entrance, conversations paused. The week's gossip had obviously made its rounds. People whispered, then quickly feigned interest in their champagne when I caught their gaze. This was a mistake, I murmured to Maya, feeling like everyone could see my recent breakup written across my forehead. Good evening, Sophie, came a voice from behind me. I turned to find Diane Foster, editor-in-chief of Weddings Today, observing me with a keen eye. I was hoping you'd be here, she said. Diane, I greeted her, mustering more confidence than I felt. It's a lovely event indeed. Could we chat privately for a moment? There's something I'd like to discuss. She nodded and gestured toward a secluded corner of the ballroom. As we walked, I spotted Marcus across the room with his parents. He looked weary, his usual polished appearance slightly unkempt. Our eyes met briefly before his mother whispered something that drew his gaze away. I'll be direct, Diane said once we were alone. I've heard about your situation. It's unfortunate, but not the first time wedding industry politics have gotten messy. I appreciate your diplomacy, I replied cautiously. The thing is, Sophie, I've followed your work for years. You have a unique perspective that stands out in an industry rife with imitators. She took a sip of her champagne. We're planning a feature on innovative wedding planners who are reshaping traditional norms. I'd like you to be part of it. Hope sparked within me. I'm interested, but I should mention that I've lost access to some venues, including Bellamy Estate. So I've heard, Diane responded dryly. Funny thing about that, we were considering featuring that venue in our summer issue. But given how the booking was handled, I'm reconsidering. We value originality and integrity at weddings today. Before I could reply, a commotion at the entrance drew everyone's attention. Vanessa had arrived, dressed ostentatiously in white, flanked by photographers, clearly timing her entrance for maximum impact. Speaking of originality, Diane murmured, raising an eyebrow. I watched as Vanessa made her way to Marcus and his parents, who beamed at her with approval they'd never shown me. A pang of betrayal twisted in my chest. Excuse me, I told Diane, let's connect tomorrow about that feature. I needed a moment to gather myself and headed for the restroom. Fate, however, had other plans. Vanessa was there, touching up her makeup. Our eyes met in the mirror. Sophie darling, I heard about what happened with Marcus. Such a shame. Is it? I retorted coolly. Seems like things worked out exactly as you planned. Her smile wavered. I don't know what you mean. The venue, the business investment, my wedding concept, right down to the floating lanterns I designed. Quite the coincidence. Marcus showed me your ideas, she admitted, dropping the facade. He thought they were lovely but needed a more sophisticated touch. I simply improved them. And did he improve your wedding date too? June 17th was ours. A flicker of guilt crossed her face before she regained her composure. Some people just fit better together. Sophie, Marcus and I make sense. We have the same background, same goals. You were just The door swung open, interrupting us. I turned to leave but stopped as Vanessa called out, by the way, Marcus's mother is introducing me to the Hamptons bridal showcase organizers tonight. Since you're no longer in the picture, they need a new wedding planner with the right connections. They were systematically dismantling everything I'd built, but as I watched Vanessa return to the ballroom on Marcus's arm, I felt an unexpected clarity. The man I thought I loved had not only betrayed me personally but was actively aiding someone else in stealing my professional achievements. I spotted Emma at the bar, deep in conversation with a tall man I didn't recognize. She waved me over urgently. This was more than just small talk. Sophie, this is Julian Reed, she introduced. He owns Kayat House, the historic mansion that rivals even Bellamy Estate in exclusivity. Julian extended his hand. Your sister tells me you're a wedding planner with exceptional taste and some unscrupulous competitors. In that moment, the clarity solidified into resolve. The future might not include Bellamy Estate, but it would certainly encompass new, potentially even greater opportunities. I thought we might be able to assist each other. And for the first time in days, I found myself smiling genuinely. As Julian Reed firmly shook my hand, his eyes shrewd yet kind, he observed me closely. Claywater House has been in my family for generations, but we've only recently started hosting select events. I need someone with vision to unveil its potential. The universe certainly has a peculiar sense of humor. Here I was, grieving the loss of one dream venue, only to be offered another that many regarded even more prestigious. Claywater House, located on 30 acres of waterfront property, boasted gardens designed by the same landscape architect who created Central Park. Although it had graced the pages of architectural magazines, it rarely opened its doors to the public. I'd be honored to work with you, I told Julian. However, I felt it necessary to be upfront about my current entanglements with the Blackwoods, who wield significant influence. Julian's expression hardened slightly. Yes, your sister explained. The Blackwoods and I have history. Let's just say their opinions of my business partners don't concern me. Emma shot me a triumphant look as Julian handed me his card. Call my office tomorrow. I think your Hamptons bridal showcase concept would be perfect at Claywater. After he departed, I hugged my sister tightly. How did you manage this? I asked. Julian was Dad's college roommate, Emma explained. When I heard about your predicament, I remembered Dad mentioning that Julian had restored his family estate. The Blackwoods once tried to buy the property, but Julian refused to sell. Hope bloomed in my chest. For the first time in days, a plan began to take shape in my mind, not just for survival, but for redemption. The next morning, I met with Diane from Weddings Today and pitched the first ever bridal event at the notoriously private Claywater House. featuring innovative designers overlooked by mainstream wedding publications. She loved the idea, especially the angle of showcasing hidden gems in the wedding industry. Maya and I worked tirelessly, contacting vendors bullied by larger competitors, designers with fresh perspectives, and clients who valued uniqueness over status. We created mood boards, sample layouts, and marketing materials, turning my apartment into a command center. Emma brought us food and occasionally forced us to sleep. After 3 weeks of intense preparation, the Hamptons Bridal Showcase Committee announced Claywater House as the official venue, with Sophie Chen Events as the featured planner. The press release highlighted the historic estate's unprecedented access and the focus on innovation over tradition. On the day it was announced, Marcus caught up with me as I left a client meeting. Despite his designer attire, dark circles under his eyes betrayed his stress. "Can we talk?" he asked. His tone sincere yet strained. "You've been avoiding my calls." "I've been busy," I replied, continuing to walk. Building something new. I saw the announcement about Claywater House. "Congratulations." His congratulations, though sincere, carried a note of strain. "That's actually why I wanted to talk. There's been a misunderstanding." I stopped and faced him. "A misunderstanding? You gave my dream venue to your ex-girlfriend, stole my design concepts, then stood by as your family tried to destroy my business. Which part did I misunderstand?" "The venue was a mistake," he admitted, his voice tinged with regret. "I didn't realize how important it was to you. As for the rest, Vanessa accessed your plans without my knowledge. When I found out, I ended our arrangement." The word choice didn't escape me. Marcus had the decency to look ashamed. "My parents have been pushing me to reconnect with her for business reasons. I thought I could handle it without hurting you, but things spiraled." "Sophie, I miss you. We can start over. I'll book any venue you want." As I studied the man I once planned to marry, I saw him clearly for the first time. He wasn't evil, just privileged enough to believe that everything could be fixed with money and influence. That's not how it works. "Marcus, you can't just replace one venue with another and expect everything to be the same. Some things, once broken, stay broken." "You don't mean that," he said, reaching for my hand. "We have history." I gently pulled away. "Yes, we do, and I've learned from it." 2 months later, the Hamptons Bridal Showcase opened to rave reviews. Claywater House proved to be even more magical than Bellamy Estate, with its hidden gardens and lake views creating a fairytale setting that left guests gasping in delight. Julian had granted me complete creative freedom, and I had designed something truly unique, an experience that told a story of renewal and authenticity. Diane's feature in Weddings Today, with my work on the cover, highlighted my resilient creativity and fresh approach to luxury events. My phone rang off the hook with new client inquiries, including from celebrities and a European aristocrat. At the showcase's closing reception, Julian raised a toast to Sophie Chen, who turned a setback into a breakthrough. "Claywater House is honored to be her canvas." Maya clinked glasses with me. "Not bad for someone who got dumped a few months ago." "I wasn't dumped," I corrected her with a smile. "I was redirected." As guests mingled under the stars, I stepped away to enjoy a quiet moment by the lake. The water reflected the mansion's lights, creating dancing patterns across its surface. In the distance, I could just make out the roofline of Bellamy Estate. I felt nothing looking at it now. No longing, no regret. Just appreciation for the push it took to find something better. Sometimes losing what you thought you wanted leads you exactly where you need to be. I dropped a penny into the lake, making a new wish for my future. Built on my terms, with dreams big enough to include only those who truly deserve to share them. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.